Welcome to Róisín Dubh, the Black Rose, a rock legend. Great Thin Lizzy song. This is the Gary Moore era. Gary and Scott really harmonized great together. Gary's playing is over the top, just phenomenal. The first thing I want to mention, other than my notes that I wrote out, will be available just below the video. Link, click on that and you can download them. This song is in E flat, so we're tuned down a half step, but it's about a half step even less. So I'm in tune with the song. Here's the E. The A. D. And I think you could take it from there. So I called it E flat flat. So it's a little flatter than normal E flat. But once you get the tuning, really fun to play along with these Irish licks, if you will. We'll talk about how to kind of get that flavor within it. It's all really in G major scale, and we'll go over the rest. To start the song out with, what we're doing is playing a G note on the 6th string, 3rd fret. We'll hit it once, and then 1, 2, 3 real quick. Then we go 2, 3, 5. Then we go 2, 3 on the 5th string and hit 3 again, slide up to 5. Okay, so again together slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the next lick, I really focused a lot of learning this on the Gary Moore tribute, where he brought out Scott Gorham, and it was a tribute to Phil Lynott, and they played this song together. I noticed in the older versions of the song, the second measure they played here at the 4th position, but you could play it at the 2nd position. So same notes, just transposed. So I'll show you the way I did it in the intro. All right, so we slid up to the 5th. Then we're going to go to the 5th string on the 7th. Then we're going to go to the 5th string, 7th fret, to 4, 5 on the 4th string, and then hit 5 3 more times. Then back to 4, then 7, 5, 7 on the 5th string. Then we're going to hammer on, hitting 5 to 7, back to 5, and ending on the B note on the 7th fret of the 6th string. I originally wrote this out the way I saw Scott and Gary do it, which was this. So I'll show you this in case this is something you want to do. We're going to go 2, 3, 5. Then back to, 4th fret. This is on the 4th string and 2nd fret. And then open, 2, open. And then we'll do a hammer on to 2, back to open. Ending on the B note on the 5th string at the 2nd fret. Really a preference, but I wrote it out the way I've seen a lot of the older videos do it. So with this intro, the first full measure that we've gone over, there is actually a whole second measure of it, and the only difference is they add the open E string to the 2nd fret before they start on that G note on the 3rd fret. Alright, so that is consistent throughout the song. Wherever they do this intro, which is after the first verse, after the second verse, and fading out or the outro, it's always starting on the G, and then the second measure starts open E to F sharp and then the G. So that's the intro. Now we're into the verse. The verse I found really interesting in that there's a drum like intro to it before they start. So right after the lick, they're going to play this little drum fill, and I'll play it for you so you can hear it. All right, so you'll hear the lick end, the drum fill, and then they go into the chords. So it's a da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. Really cool drum fill that Brian does. Brian's drum playing on this is incredible. So every time you go into the verse, you will hear that drum fill. Now when I say verse, I mean one measure of it, okay? The second verse, they actually do the first full measure of it twice. And you'll hear that drum fill between them, all right? So the chords during the verse, what we're going to be playing are a G power chord. We're not going to play the B note, all right? Then they play a C to an E minor. All right, a G, and then a C, D. Now, one way you can do this is just go down and play the 5th and 4th string part of a C. Either way, it's just whatever you're comfortable with. So that is the verse. We'll do that a total of twice for a measure of the verse. All right, G to C to E minor, G to C to D. That's half measure. Repeat that again. That's a full measure of the verse. Then we come back into our intro tag. All right, you know that. And then we're into verse 2. So again, you'll hear the drum fill. We'll do a full measure of the verse. You'll hear another drum fill, and then they come in and play another measure of the verse. So that's the difference between the first and second verse. Then we do another intro tag. All right. After that tag, we do some different licks, and I want to go over that next. So after the second verse and the little intro tag, we're going to go into this. I'm going to stop there. What we're doing in the key to this, really getting that Irish feel, are these kind of quick slides. And when you do a hammer on, it's not just a plain old. It's more of a. It's a very quick, almost like a trill. All right. So to start it out with, we're going to be on the 5th string, sliding from 3 to 5, and then striking 7. Down to 5 on the 4th string. Then we're going to slide on the 4th string from 7 to 9. Catch 7 on the 3rd string, slide that up, hit 7 again, slide up to 9. And then hit 7. From there, what we're going to do is come down to the 2nd string, slide into 8 real quick, and then a quick hammer on from 7 to 8, back to 7, and catching 9 with a little vibrato on the 3rd string. All right, so that ends that first half of the measure. So let's play together slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second half of the lick will sound like this. so that kind of ends that part of the measure as I've written it out. All right, so what we're doing is sliding into 7. This is right after we hit that 9 on the 3rd string. We're going to come in sliding into 7 on the 3rd string, hit 9 back to 7, and then we're going to take 7 and slide to 9 on the 4th string. Come right back and hit 7 on the 3rd with some vibrato. Then we're going to slide into 9 on the 4th string, hit 7, and then slide 7 to 9. Alright, at that point we're going to come back to 7, slide it to 9, and then hit 7 again. Then we slide on the 4th string, 9 to 7, and then come back to 5. Alright, so I know that's a lot of numbers and stuff, so if you follow along what I've written out, we'll go over it again slowly here from the beginning. This will be the whole first measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. The lick's going to continue on. You want to use your pinky here. We're going to hit 7 on that 4th string to the 3rd string at 4 and hit it again, slide to 5, and then hit 4 without a slide. Then we go 7, 5 on the 4th string, and then 7 slid to 5. Together to that point. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, at that point we're going to hit 7, 5 on the 5th string to 5 with a little vibrato, and there's an odd note 5. You're going to hit this, and there's, like I said, there's another 5 before you hit 5 one more time, slide to 7, and then hit 5 again. So it'll sound like this. We'll take it from 5 to 7 on the 5th string. Alright, so that kind of is what I consider the whole first section of this. And the next part will be Oh Danny Boy, and we'll talk about that next because this is a Gary Moore solo part. This first section of Gary's solo will sound like this. Alright, so what we're doing there is we're going to hit 15 on the 2nd string, go 12 to 14 on the 1st string. Then we're going to hit 14 bent with some vibrato, 14 unbent, and then 12, 14 back to 12 with a hammer on and pull off. Then we go 15, 13, 15. Then we're going to take 14 on the 3rd string with a bend, and then we'll hit 12 unbent. So all together slowly, 1, 2, 3, 4. The second half of this measure starts out pretty much the same. We're just going to stop at the second, not stop, but we're not going to go any further on the 2nd string than 15. All right, so. Then we go right to 14 with a bend and then just unbent. All right, so again, 1, 2, 3, 4. At that point, he changes position. He's going to go up to the 15th fret. We're going to play 15 twice on the 2nd string. 17, bend that up, and then we'll hit 17 twice unbent. before I hammer on and pull off from 15 to 17. Then he changes position. You want to go, use your middle finger, bend up that second string at 15 and catch 15 underneath unbent. And then 15 unbent on the second. Then you're going to jump to 14 on the third string, bent, and then 12 unbent. Alright, so we have this all together. 1, 2, 3, 4. At that point, he shifts positions, goes 11, 12, 14, 14 bent on the third string. Alright, it's easier if you use your first finger, go up to 12 because you're going to be playing the rest at the 12th position. And then we're going to hit 12 on the first string to 15 on the second. Then we're going to go 14 bent and then 14 unbent. 12 on the third string to 14 on the fourth. Alright, so all together, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to catch 14 on the fourth string to 11 and 12 on the third. Then there's a slight pause and you'll just hear him hit the third and second string at the 12th fret and slide down. Alright, so let's take that whole section from 11 together with the slide down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then we start the question and answer I wrote out section where Gary will play the first part and Scott will answer. And they do that for, let's see, one measure each, and that's twice. So the first section of this Q&A, I watched Gary do this multiple times, and this is how he played it and how I wrote it out. And I'll give you an alternate way of doing it if you're more comfortable. Alright, so what we're going to do is 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so what he did, 2 to 4 on the 4th string to 5, slid up to 7, semi-palm muted. Then we come back to the 3rd string at 4. Then we come back to the 2nd string at 5. And then we're going to do a hammer on from 2 to 5, I'm sorry, 3 to 5 back to 2. And then we're going to end on an E note. And you know Gary, he can jump these strings and land where he wants. And again, I'll show you the alternate way, but we'll go through this one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. The other way is just to stay in this position. When we hit 5 on that 4th string, we can't slide, but what we're going to do is just go to the 3rd string and hit the same note, that A. Then we come to the 3rd string at 4, and then we'll do the same thing on the 2nd string. Then we just come back to the E note on the 4th string at the 2nd fret. Again, if you're more comfortable doing that, but I saw Gary more moving up to this E note because he just follows it up from there. Alright, the answer that Scott does, this is consistent. He'll do this both times. Alright, so for Scott's part, we're going to go from the 7 to 9, 10 on the 5th string, 7 to 9 on the 4th string, then just lay your finger down, catch the 3rd string at 9, and then we're going to go to 7 on the 3rd string, hammer on and pull off from 9, and end on the 4th string at 9. He does the same thing both times, answering Gary. Now, Gary's next question, if you want to call it that. All right, we've landed on the E. All right, so what Gary does is he's going to hit that E note on the 5th string, 7th fret, go up to the 4th fret, 4th string, 5th fret, and then 7th fret, slide up to 9. Then catch the 3rd at 3rd string at 9, and then it's real similar to what Gary does. Scott does. We're going to hit 7, 9, hammer down and pull off, landing on 9 on the 4th. Scott does the same answer. All right, now they change positions and it's a little bit higher sounding, more trembly, and it's still more question and answer between Scott and Gary. Okay, so the next part of this, we're going to move to the 3rd string. Starting there, we'll hit 9, 11, 12, hit the 2nd string from 10 to 12, and then play 12 right below on the 1st string to 10. And then what he does is slide back and forth from 9 to 12, back to 9. The answer is exactly the same, so this is really played twice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, the next time slightly different. The first guitar will stop on the 2nd string at 10 with a bend up to the E note, and the second time through the 2nd guitar will hit the E note, just held. All right, so it will sound like this the first or the next question before the answer. All right, so what we're doing there, going up just like we did. Once we get to 12 on the 1st string, we're going to do a hammer on from 10 to 12 back to 10. Then we take the 2nd string at 10 with a bend to that E note. All right, that he holds that while the next guitar plays, but if you cut it short, you can do the answer part, which up to that point is the same. We're just going to hit the 12th fret. All right, and then they do a harmonized walk down. So Scott's walk down will be this. All right, so this sounds really cool, played at speed, and it's not very difficult when you get it in your head, the pattern I'm going to teach you, okay? So what I want you to do when you think of this, it will be the first lick after the first 3 notes, which will be 12, 14, 15, all right? We're going to hammer on from 14 to 15 and then hit 12. So there's like a trill there. Then we go 12 hammered on right away to 14, hitting 12 and sliding back. So the second time, okay, is not a, and there's no notes between it. All right, just like this first one. So this one will be the quicker. So we're going to hit 10 to 12, and then 10 pulled off to 12, slid back to 7, and then we go 1 little pull off. Then we go 10 to 7. Slide back. Now we'll do another double. So we're going to hit the notes. Sliding back to 3, and then we'll hit 5 pulled off. Then we go to 3. So 3 is a hitting, I'm sorry, from 3 we're going to go to the 2nd fret, hit 3 pulled off, and land on 5. Alright, so I hope that pattern makes sense. I'm going to go through it again slowly and just listen to it, and you'll see how it comes together. Alright, so that's Scott's part. So basically, to harmonize this, Gary will start out with Scott at the 12 on the 1st string to 14, 15, and then come back to the 12 with the pull-offs. Then he moves to the 2nd string. Alright, we're going to go 15, 17, and then a hammer on and pull off and slide to 13. Then we'll hit 15, pulled off to 13, slid back to 12. And then 13, slid back to, then 13 and 12 hammered on to 13, slid back to 10. Then back to 12 to 10. Then when we hit 8, we're just going to hit it 2 more times. Alright, so slowly, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so you get the idea. Again, it's written out for you to follow that if that was a little bit difficult to follow. And then we'll go into the next section. Alright, the next section after the harmonized descending riff will sound like this. Alright, that first measure, we're going to hit 5 to 7 on the 5th string to 5 once and then twice. 7 to 5, 7 again, and then 7 once more, slid up to 9 on that 4th string. Then we go to 7, 9, 7 on the 3rd string, back to 9 on the 4th, 7 on the 3rd. Then we're going to slide from 9 on the 4th to 7, catching 5. Then back slide from 7 to 9. And then 5th string, 7th fret. Alright, so all together slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, the next measure, we'll do half of it and go over that. Alright, so what we're doing there, again, starting out just like we did, 5, 7 on the 5th string to 4th string, 5, basically 3 times. Then 7, 5, 7. 7, slide to 9. 7, 9, 7, back to 9 from the 3rd to the 4th string. Then 7 on the 3rd string. Then we're going to slide from 9 to 7, pulled off to 5. Then hit 7 again, slid up to 9, back to 7. And then end on 5 with some vibrato. Alright, so after that, we're going to switch positions here to the 7th position. And we'll start out on the 4th string from 9 to 10. Alright, so we're hitting 9 to 10 on that 4th string. 7, 9, 7 back on the 3rd string, back to 9. Here we are. Then 7/9 on that third string to 7/8/7 on the second. 9 on the third to 7. Then 9 slid to 7, hitting 5. Then 7 slide to 9, ending on 7. Alright, so from the 9/10 on the fourth string, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, we're going to start out the next measure basically the same. Alright, next measure starts out the same, and I'll show you the difference. Alright, so we ended a bit differently. We're going to start out the same, 9 to 10 on the fourth string, 7/9/7. Then we go 9 on the fourth to 7/9 on the third, 7/8/7 on the second string. Back to 9/7 on the third. Then we're going to slide from 9 to 7, and then 7 back to 9, and then back to 7. And then hit 5. It's all on the fourth string. So that last section together, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, now we're going to change. This next section has some really cool licks in it, and we'll go over that next. So the next section will sound like this. Alright, I'm going to stop there before we go over the walking lick, if you will. What we're doing here is playing the second string from 10 to the third string to 11 four times. Then we're going to go 12 to 10 on the second string, to 12 on the third string, back to 10 on the second string, to 11 on the third string. Then we go to 12, and then we're going to do a hammer on from 11 to 12 and hit 9. Alright, so we have this so far. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we just hit 11, slide to 12 on that third string, start it all over again. Then we're going to hit 7 to 9 on that third string. Go to the first string, 7 to 10 on the first string from second. 7 on the second, 10 on the first. And then twice on the 7 on the second string to 10 again. Back to 7 on the second twice. And then we'll hammer on from 7 to 8, slide back to 5. Alright, so far we have this. Then we're going to hit 8 on the first string to 5 on the second. And then again 8 to 5 on the second twice. So that first 8 is, or that first 5 on the second string as we slid back kind of starts us off. Alright, I know it's a lot. So let's take it from the 7 to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, and then we're going to start a walk up. Now, after we do this walk up, there's going to be, we're going to play that same section again, but we'll be harmonized. Gary will come in with that harmonized, and I'll show you both parts. All right, so next part is a walk up, walk down, if you will. Again, this walk up, walk down, if you will, is harmonized the second time through. I don't think the first time through they do any bends. I think it's straight hitting the strings and sliding. All right, so it'll sound like this. All right, so basically we're hitting 7th fret of the 3rd string. This will be all on the 3rd string. 7 to 9, then 9 slid up to 11. Then 9, 11, 11 slid up to 12. 11, 12, and then 12 slid up to 14. Then 12, 14 slid up to 16. Then we start walking down. We're going to go 14, 12, 11. When we hit 11, we'll slide back to 12 and then to 11. Then we're going to go to the 9th fret, slide up to 11 and back, and then end on 7. Like I said, the second time through this, when we do this again, it's going to be harmonized, and you'll hear a bend there that I think Gary does. We'll go over that whole harmonized section next. So for this harmonized section, for the Scott, all right, this is section 2 that's harmonized. Scott's going to do very similar to what we learned with the 10 and 11. All right, the difference is the pull off and ending on 9 will end. There's no more notes, and then he just repeats it. All right, so it'll go like this. So I'll just do it once. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we'll repeat that again, and then we go into something a little bit different before we hit the we're going to do it between the 3rd and 2nd string. Alright, so we're going to start on the 2nd string, 7th fret, to the 3rd string at 7. Alright, so we're pedaling off the 3rd string. So it'll be 2nd string to at 7, 3rd string at 7, 2nd string 7 twice, back to the 3rd string at 7, 2nd string twice. Then we're going to do the 8, and then 7, 8, hammer off, slide to 5. And we start back at the 3rd string at 5. So we have this so far. So we've landed on the 2nd string at 5 with our slide back, so we just go back to the 3rd string at 5, and then 2nd string at 5 twice. And then 3rd string 5, 2nd string 5 twice. And then we're going to do that same walk up, walk down, and we'll actually do this twice. Exact same walk up, walk down the second time, just like that. Now Gary, when he harmonizes, does a little bend, and I'll show you that as we go through Gary's part, which is next. So for the harmonized section 2, Gary's part is going to be mainly on the 3rd and 4th string. We're going to go 11 and 12. That'll repeat. So we're doing 11, 12, 4 times. Then we go 12 to 12, back to 11, 12. Then we're going to hit 14 on that 4th string. And then we're going to hit hammer from 12 to 14, back to 12, ending up on 11. Alright, so again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeats, and then we do this walk up. So the next section of Gary's is that little, like Scott does the 7s. Alright, Gary's doing 11 to 12. Alright, so he's going to hit 11 on the 3rd string to 12, 11 twice on the 3rd string to 12 on the 4th string, back to 11. Then he goes to 12, and then a hammer on and pull off from 11 to 12 and slid to 9, that's on the 3rd string. So let's go through that part to the slide at 9. Then what we're going to do is hit 10 on the 4th string to 9 twice on the 3rd, back to 10 and back to 9. And then he starts a walk up. So again, this is the harmonized part. So let's take it from that section there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, and then he's going to walk up. Yes. Alright, so this first walk-up section, because the second one he does is different, we're going to start out on the 12th fret of the 4th string to 9, 11 twice. Then we're going to hit 11, slide to 12. Then hit 11, 12, and then 12, slide to 14. 12, 14, and then we're going to bend it up. Hit it unbent to 12 and 11. And then we'll slide from 12 to 11 to 9. Then 11 to 9 and on 7. Alright. The second walk up he does is quite a bit different, so we'll go over that next. So his next walk up will start at the 11th position. So what we're doing there is 11, go to 12, 14, back to 12, 14 on the 3rd string. And then 12 on the 2nd string to 14 on the 3rd, back to 12, 15. 12, 15 again. Then we'll hit 15, bent and release to 12. Then we walk back down 14, 12, 11. Then we're going to hit 12, bent and release. And end on 11. So all together, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, then comes the fast section. So for the fast section, if you're like me, I can only play the rhythm. The rhythm is 4 Ds in a row. We're going to stop between each. Alright. On the next section, we'll do 4 Cs to D. The C's are sustained a bit. Alright, we'll do that 4 times. Then he repeats that real quick section with the open legs. Anyhow, we'll do 2 more Ds. at our quick stop. And then we move to, let me see, what do we do after that? We'll do 2 more C's to D with the C sustaining. Then we're going to go to C, sustained, and then to A. C to D, then G, A. Then we'll repeat that. C to A, C to D, G to A, and then we hold it and go to D. And that's the end of the extremely well-played, fast G major licks that Gary does. And then we're into basically the outro. So this is what I call the slow. They do tremolo picking, but we're playing the verse chords. So it's very slowed down. G to C to E minor, G to C and D. Alright, under that you'll hear tremolo picking. So what he's doing really quickly, playing 10, 12, 15, sliding back to 14, 12, 10. Alright, and then we're going to go slide back to 7. Then we go 8 to 10. Then 2 to 3. Then up to 5. And 7, 5, 7. Then we go 12, 10. 7 to 3. I'm sorry, 7. Come back to the second string, 5 to 3, back to 5, 8, 10. And that really, again, is tremolo pick, very fast. It's in the background as they're doing the verse chords. And then we start reprising the intro. Okay, the intro is played exactly those 2 measures. So they do the open to the 2nd fret to 3 every other. And you'll repeat that, I think, about, let's see, let me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 measures, and then you start fading out. Now there are licks underneath that. I figured them out, I've written them out. If you want to play them, they're in my notes. But that's the song. I really hope that helps everybody. This was a lot of work, and Gary is a monster player, and I hope everything I've done helps you out. So enjoy.